Scientists develop a mini Death Star to protect the Earth from asteroids. The Pentagon admits it's been flying military drones over U.S. soil, and oh yeah, they're trying to make cyborgs a reality. This is SkyWatch TV for Thursday, March 10th, 2016. I'm Derek Gilbert. First up, Iran has tested new ballistic missiles. State-run media there reporting 2 successful tests of a missile a day after the U.S. government suggested that might be in violation of a UN resolution calling on Iran to stop developing missiles. Well, Iran's not shy about letting the world know exactly what these missiles are for. According to Iran's semi-official Fars news agency, the missiles were marked with a statement in Hebrew, "Israel must be wiped off the earth." Meanwhile, Iran's proxy Hezbollah is preparing for what it says its biggest war ever. Although it's lost more than 1,000 fighting men in the Syrian civil war, it's gained tactical experience from that war, experience that it plans to use against Israel someday. Spokesman for Hezbollah said that they won't stay on the Lebanese border in the next war. We'll take the fight to the villages and towns in northern Israel. And a defense analyst in Washington says that since the last war in 2006, Hezbollah has acquired advanced air defense systems and naval cruise missiles, which could threaten Israeli warplanes and target oil platforms in the eastern Mediterranean. The wave of Palestinian terror attacks in Israel ramped up with Vice President Biden's visit there Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon, a Jewish man stabbed in the town of Petah Tikva, which is about 6 miles east of Tel Aviv. After being stabbed repeatedly, he pulled his attacker's knife out of his own neck and stabbed his attacker to death with it. The victim, a man about 40 years old, is hospitalized in good condition. Things are getting desperate in Greece. Macedonia, its northern neighbor, has completely sealed the border with Greece as of Wednesday. This shuts off the Balkan Trail from Greece to Austria, completely closed down. As many 70,000 refugees are stranded in Greece. They can't go north, nowhere to go, can't go back home. The European Union and Turkey are negotiating to find a way to stop the flood of migrants into Europe. Turkey, by the way, right now hosting about 3 million Syrian refugees. The Pentagon has admitted that it's been flying military spy drones over U.S. soil. A new report by a Pentagon Inspector General says the drones have been used for non-military missions, which is good to know. They said that the missions have been used rarely and in compliance with existing law. Now, the report didn't give any details about specific missions, but said that any use of military drones for civil authorities has to be approved by the Department of Defense, or Defense Secretary, rather, or someone delegated by the Secretary. The Pentagon issued a new policy about a year ago for the use of spy drones, said that unless it is permitted by law and approved by the Defense Secretary, drones may not conduct surveillance on U.S. persons. Now, look, the NSA isn't supposed to conduct surveillance on U.S. persons either. They get around that by delegating it to MI6 and just looking over the shoulders of the MI6 agent while he's conducting whatever surveillance the NSA wants to get his hands on. They will change the law if they so desire, and they won't tell the American public because it's not good for national security. So, and of course, the new policy put forward by the Defense Department banned the use of armed drones over the U.S., except for training purposes. But about that, it appears that police forces across the country are asking for the right to arm drones, use weaponized drones in the fight against lawbreakers. In Connecticut, police departments there are opposing a bill being considered by the legislature to outlaw weaponization of drones. It would classify arming drones as a Class C felony, punishable by up to 10 years in prison. And this, at the moment, would include drones deployed by law enforcement agencies. Now, in North Dakota last year, a bill to ban weaponized drones was amended just before it went to the floor by a lobby representing law enforcement officers. The bill passed. It was changed so that it only bans lethal weapons on drones. So in North Dakota, police can equip drones with rubber bullets, pepper spray, tear gas, sound cannons, and tasers. We can expect this to be an ongoing debate here in the United States. The Pentagon, by the way, also working on an implant to serve as an interface between the human brain and electronic devices. This is a project at the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. I should be good at saying this by now. I say it often enough. DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, which is the research wing of the Pentagon. They're throwing millions of dollars into trying to develop this device. Now, the report at CNN on this particular project it's really cute. It says, some experts see such an implant as having the potential for military applications. That's what DARPA does. It finds military applications for new technologies. Now, there are good uses to this potential technology. Benefits to people who've been injured in combat, for example, allowing people to control prosthetics with their minds, for example, or perhaps restoring cognitive abilities to people who suffered head injuries. Those are good things. But whenever a spokesman for DARPA says, this technology is not intended for military applications, you will never go broke betting your last dollar that the technology is especially for military applications, because that's what DARPA does. That's its mission statement. So, enhanced human operations are the goal, EHOs. And you see the headline here? We reported on this back in January after a speech by a Deputy Defense Secretary about Russian and Chinese research into EHOs. In other words, even if they're afraid of doing it, they're going to do it because they're even more afraid that Russia or China will get the capability to create super soldier first. Now, we have to point out that not everybody thinks this is possible. A cognitive scientist at Harvard, Steven Pinker, said the idea is a bunch of hype with no results. And I quote, "We have little to no idea exactly how the brain codes complex information," end quote. And he points out that sticking a foreign object into the brain can cause serious neurological issues. So not everybody involved in this type of research believes that this is even possible. But still, as we point out in the documentary film Inhuman, there are those who believe that this is mankind's destiny, that the future of humanity lies in the merger of our biology with technology, so that we may someday surpass the limits of our biology. Our salvation, in other words, to be found on a chip. And therein lies the danger, because our children, our grandchildren, seeing the miracles of modern technology every single day, are more likely to put their faith in salvation, their hope for salvation, in faith in technology rather than in the faith of contained in the words written in a book that their parents have probably never read. And that's why we put together the movie, Inhuman, the next and final phase of man is here. That is the danger of transhumanism. Unless, of course, they do on some off chance actually manage to create the Borg or the Terminator. Now, scientists have come up with a novel new way to protect the Earth from asteroids, a miniature Death Star, a satellite with a high-powered laser that could heat rocks on a collision course with Earth in order to nudge them out of the way. They're calling it the D-Star, which is a clever acronym standing for Directed Energy System for Targeting of Asteroids and Exploration. They had to get the R out of the middle of the last word to make that fit. But they found in some research on using basalt rocks here on Earth that by heating rocks with a laser, the rocks lose mass. They begin to outgas. And ejecting the gas could theoretically cause these incoming rocks to change course. Although, based on the research, they would need an awful lot of warning. They're finding that a 10 kilowatt laser, and there are larger lasers currently in use by the military, but a 10 kilowatt laser might need as much as 30 years to nudge a rock the size of a football field into a different path. An odd story, a suspect in the shooting of a pastor in Idaho was captured Tuesday at the White House. Secret Service told CNN that Kyle Andrew Odom was arrested Tuesday night after throwing suspicious objects over the south fence at the White House. Odom is a suspect in the shooting of a pastor, Tim Remington, Sunday in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Remington shot several times but is expected to survive. He delivered the invocation at a rally for Senator Ted Cruz, presidential candidate in Idaho, on Saturday. It's not known whether this shooting is politically motivated. The youth pastor at his church, the Altar Church in Coeur d'Alene, told reporters that it was a miracle that Pastor Remington survived. And as long as we're on the subject of politics, I was led to this yesterday. This is a document filed with the Federal Elections Commission on January 30th. It appears to be evidence that preparations have been made for Mitt Romney to enter the Republican race for president. Paul Ryan named as his vice presidential candidate. We'll see if this actually happens. This story is just from the I think it's cool file. No other reason. Colored glass beads found in Bronze Age tombs in Northern Europe show that there was trade going on between Scandinavia and Egypt about 3,400 years ago. That's about the time that Moses was leading the Israelites out of Egypt and into Canaan. The chemical composition of the glass and the amber embedded in the glass shows that the beads actually came from the workshop that made jewelry for Tutankhamun, King Tut. It's not significant to world events or prophetic fulfillment or anything. I just think it's cool. Just imagine some pre-Viking guy in ancient Scandinavia whose mother thought Egypt was really cool and was given the name Sven-Hotep. Probably never happened. Coming up this summer, the Rocky Mountain International Prophecy Conference, an opportunity for you to hear from a couple dozen top prophecy and scholars, geopolitical analysts. Now, the conference is sold out, but live streaming is available. And there are 2 different packages offered this year, actually 3 packages offered. The main ballroom, of course, live streamed as always, but also the largest breakout room, the Aspen Room at the Marriott there in Colorado Springs. So you can buy one package or the other, or buy 2 and save $20. For more information on the live streaming, log into our friend's website at prophecywatchers.com. If you haven't yet seen the program this week, SkyWatchTV, the interview with Nita Horn about the events in her life that have inspired her memoir, No Fences, you really should make an effort to see it. You'll have 2 more opportunities on Saturday this week. Saturday afternoon at 3:30 Central Time in Arkansas and around Memphis on the Victory Television Network. And then Saturday evening, coast to coast on the Christian Television Network. That's DirecTV, Channel 376, Dish Network, Channel 267, and the Glory Star Satellite, Channel 117. We've also got information on how you can tell your story in a new anthology published by Defender Publishing. For information on that, log on to skywatchtv.com. We do depend on your support, and we want to make sure that we always thank you and express our appreciation. During the month of March, a very timely gift from us for your support of $20 or more, a DVD by Alan Keyes and Alan Sears, America's Courts, Progress, and Peril, the fight over the replacement for recently deceased Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia, will be a big political headline all through the summer. Again, that DVD and a keepsake wall plaque, our gift to you for your gift of $20 or more during the month of March. To donate, log on to skywatchtv.com/donate. And of course, your mouse finger helps us as well. Your click, like, share, subscribe at Facebook, Twitter, or our official YouTube channel helps spread the word. And of course, when I post, it's here, Twitter, Facebook, my website, and my email address for your comments and questions, dgilbert@skywatchtv.com. Thank you for watching, as we keep watch. Tomorrow, Sci Friday. Until then, I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is SkyWatch TV.
From the time she was little, Nita dreamed of horses. Every childhood fantasy rode on the back of a heroic white steed, coming to save the day.
I don't know how long I've had this love in my heart for horses. It's just always been there. And when we were little girls, my sister and I would play all day long. I was always the white horse and she was always the little pink pig.
Let's pretend Lightning and Rosie can fly.
But everything changed in a heartbeat. On December 9th, 1971, a tragic car accident claimed the life of my dad and my best friend and my little sister. And I wondered after that if there was anything left to believe in.
Move aside, let the ambulance through. Please move aside.
As a child of 13, I felt like I had lost practically everything. And I wondered, is this it? I mean, where do I go from here? I could not have imagined back then how God could use horses, of all things, to restore my faith and vision for the future.
Starting April 19th, get your copy of Nita Horn's inspirational new book, No Fences, and learn for the first time her amazing story of loss, survival, determination, and healing. How the vision and love God gave her for these beautiful and majestic animals eventually led to the 150-acre Whispering Ponies Ranch, a general retreat facility, as well as a premier training location that specializes in using and gifting therapeutic animals to benefit the herding. Other care facilities, schools, and ministries across the nation.
When God puts something in your heart, it's there for a lifetime.